Hello everyone, this is Aashin Prasad. When I'm not busy breaking news, you'll find me breakdancing, or as my boss has asked me to do recently, to report on breakdancing. Because of that, I recently had a chance to be a part of Red Bull BC 1 Cypher 2022, where the best breakers in the country were there to take their shot at qualifying for the last chance Cypher in New York later this year. As I was saying earlier, I have no clue about breakdancing. This was my first test at it, and I had no idea what I was walking into. I had seen some videos, obviously I've seen some movies, and I've also grown up seeing Michael Jackson moonwalking. So that's the extent of breakdancing I had known, and to have my eyes opened up to a whole new world was something of a experience which I would want all of you to go through, because now breaking is going to be part of mainstream sports. Not many would have thought of that, maybe last year, because now breaking is going to be part of Paris Olympics 2024. And on that note, let me take you through what I saw in Mumbai and maybe help you understand what breaking is all about.
What do you learn from breaking? You learn how to come all together and meet each other. So you're just networking right now. You're networking. You are learning from each other. You are making some contact.
Breaking is an art form. It's a culture. It's slowly becoming also a sports competition. It's coming from the early 70s in New York City, in the Bronx. So it comes from the hunger of the youth who felt totally alone and desperate, and who find this tool to express themselves, and they made it the first youth culture in the world, the hip hop culture, and the breaking is the dance form of the hip hop culture.
So when I told my friends I was going to Mumbai to cover breakdancing, the biggest question among them was why are you guys covering breakdancing? So, and that's the question on most people's mind. Why is breaking a sport? So, at the end of the day, you can't take competition out of breaking. It's just like any other sport. It's a competitive dance form. And you would have also seen competition like gymnastics or figure skating, something which has previously been part of Olympic sports. So that's still an art form or a cultural art which is still part of a competitive sport.
So breaking has been associated to sports since the early 2000s. Like the official first breaking competition started in the early 90s with the Battle of the Year, which is the crew world championship and the most historical competition in breaking. But in the early 2000s, we had a lot more international competition worldwide, from Japan, South Korea, USA, France, and all around the world. And the Red Bull BC1, which started in 2004, made it mainstream and provided to the breaking athletes, breaking dancers, the opportunity to show to the world, what breaking really is. And this one-on-one world championship, like the most iconic one-on-one battle, is celebrating its 19th anniversary this year, and that's the most iconic competition in the world. And this is a part of the breaking history now, which helped to bring breaking from the streets to the top, and so in 2024 breaking will be part of the Olympic Games in Paris, which is a huge step forward once again. But it only shows that the breaking dance, the breaking culture is keep growing, and it's just at its beginning yet.
Now that we have established what breaking is all about, you must be wondering what exactly happens to the dance floor. It's very simple. Breaking is essentially broken down into 5 different moves. I hope I remember this right and in the right order. First is the top rock. Second is go down. Third is footwork. fourth is freezes, and fifth is power moves. As a first time viewer of breaking, or as like a casual fan if you're watching breaking for the first time, what really catches your eye is the power moves, where a lot of dynamism and athleticism involved. That's where the athlete is like spinning on his head, or jump, doing backflips or front flips, or doing all kinds of athletic moves, which normally makes your jaw drop to the floor. Like, who does that? That's what you think.
Basically, being a breaking judge means that we have a lot of knowledge and experience, and that we perfectly understand and know breaking. And so, from this point, it remains very subjective, but we have some standard criteria such as personality, performance, creativity, musicality. But we have to understand that a battle is a dialogue between two people. So, depending on how they will create that dialogue, how they will respond each other, then we will be able to decide which dancer, which athlete, was better. Better in terms of performance, better in terms of creativity, originality, but also in the word vocabulary of breaking, because it's a tough and long competition, and the athletes, the dancers, have to show a lot of vocabulary and skills with the aim to win the competition.
Okay, this is the part where I get to decide.
One of the best parts, or the most difficult part about breaking, which most people don't know, is that you don't dance your own music. You have a DJ who is part of the competition, who's going to be playing the music, where the athletes have to figure out their own dance form and then get into the groove of the music. It's not going to be easy. When you play a song, you want a couple of seconds to get going. But in breaking, you don't have so much time. Breaking battle is essentially a verbal duel without the athlete speaking. So both the competitors should have a strong vocabulary in breaking, which is in the dance moves they need to come up with disses and sledges, where it can get intense. An athlete can come as close as to butting heads, but then they won't. But it's all done in the moment of the heat, but it's all done with good respect. And judges pick up on that too, and the audience who are watching, they pick up on that too. If an athlete comes up with a powerful sledge or a diss against the other athlete, then the crowd picks up on that and then they go wild. If you have seen the Indian movie Gully Boy, you might have seen when the protagonist comes up with a powerful line in his rap, the audience goes wild. They do that hand gesture, and that's something which the a breaking audience also does. And that was something fascinating as well, that it's all part of the hip hop rap culture, or what is where the sport originates from. That is from what is called the underground scene. Another fascinating aspect which I noticed in a breaking battle was the mental side of things. There are times when the music plays, an athlete would just go first. He lets it ride, he's into the music, so he'll go. There are other times when two athletes are at an impasse where they don't want to go first, because either they want to observe what the other person is doing and then play off his vocabulary. Other times it's easier to once the music is playing, they get some time to get used to the music and then get into the groove of it. So to decide who goes first, the announcer or the umpire, he comes with a bottle and then he spins it in the dance floor, and then whoever the bottleneck is pointing to, gets to go first.
In order to enjoy the sport, somebody who just discover breaking and start as a beginner, he has to take classes, regular dance classes. You need to learn the basic elements, the basic steps, the basic, the whole culture behind breaking and the whole meaning. He has to learn the basic moves, which is the footwork, the foundations of breaking. You know, if you want to build a tall building, you need to build a strong foundations first. You know, and that's exactly the same thing with breaking. You need strong foundations. You need to understand this dance and this art form in order to learn properly, and why not become an Indian champion in a few years. The breaking scene and the hip hop scene is really growing fast in India. There is a huge potential. I know Indian dancers because we started to see Indian athletes in international competition since a few years already, and so I'm really impressed on how fast they are progressing. You know, they have like couple of athletes here that are already like top dancers in the world. You know, they have a top B girl, they have at least 2-3 top B boys also. So India is really starting to put its signature, in its mark in the world community of breaking. So I'm really impatient to see in action live for the first time in India. But I already know them, and I have lucky to give a masterclass, a workshop also, which was packed and full of young athletes. And what I like is the humility to learn, and for me that's the key to succeed.